Right.
So I'm getting 50 pence a day for delivering papers, but I needed the energy.
Right.
Now, if I spent my 50p on a Mars bar, 5p profit a day is not worth it.
No.
So, help yourself. I knew I was doing a good job for him.
No, so help yourself. That doesn't follow. So help yourself. Get another job, leave that job, negotiate a pay rise. Not help myself. That doesn't go. That's ridiculous. Where does it stop? If you worked in a nuclear power plant, well, they're not paying me much. Have a little bit of uranium.
A lovely little bit of uranium.
Yeah. I do.
That's a strange analogy, Rick. Sort of left straight from a bloke nicking stuff from work. So he works in a power plant, he's having himself a bit of uranium. What's he doing with the uranium?
Well, you know, Mars a day and all that, and that's for energy, and so's uranium. But more energy than a Mars bar. Yeah. I never nicked because I couldn't bear the shame. Even as a kid, I knew that was shameful. I want a clear conscience. I want to go to bed and sleep at night. And I do, Carl. I haven't got restless leg syndrome or people shouting out my window. So I sleep at night because I've got a clear conscience. And that, to me, is what guides me.
Well, it's like when I first moved to London and I was travelling, when I was living in Oval, I was travelling across London all the way to Shepherd's Bush every day. That's a big, long, 45-minute, hour-long journey. And there were not barriers at either end in those days. So I could get on the tube at one end and get off the other end and no one ever checked my ticket. And I was buying tickets every day for months and months and months, and it was starting to seem to me weird. I was like, well, no one's ever checking this. So, of course, you know, got a little bit lazy. Maybe I stopped buying tickets occasionally, taking the trip back and forth, boom, 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 and then for maybe a month, travelled without a ticket. And then I was coming up, kind of got a bit blasé, obviously, coming up in Oval Station, someone steps up and says, excuse me, can I see a ticket? And that's terrible because when you're in your mid-20s, it's not like a kid anymore.
No.
I mean, you are an adult. You've made a reasoned decision there. You can't plead ignorance. So I said, sorry, yeah, let me see a ticket, please? I went, yeah. I was looking through because for some reason I used to keep a lot of old tickets. And I was looking through, pretending to look for my ticket. I went, I don't know what's happened to it, but I did actually. I bought one at Shepherd's Bush, and they went, okay. If we phone up Shepherd's Bush and there's no evidence of you buying a ticket, you can go to prison. I'm going to ask you again, have you got a ticket? No.
Oh, no. How embarrassing.
It was unbelievable.
Being told off is worse. It's worse,
Well,
isn't it?
it's because there's people walking by and I'm being told off by a woman who is at least a foot and a half shorter than me, wearing a uniform. And it was so embarrassing. It was so cripplingly embarrassing.
Yeah.
And I asked you again, have you got a ticket? No, I haven't. No. So you lied? Yes, I did, yeah. Okay, we're going to have to take your details. But honestly, being told, and that's it, there's the shame. Maybe it's a good bit of upbringing, unlike Carl, obviously, who's a man who's got no guilty conscience at all about the whole Mars bar incident, but whereas you and I, Rick, have raised, obviously, by better parents, and we are, it's been drummed into us, you know.
How much was that train journey?
Is, you know, we do feel that guilt, and that's maybe one of the reasons why we don't transgress. Because this is an interesting, you know, we talked earlier about the murder thing. Well, of course, there's that sort of idea which has often been used in films. You know, in a godless universe, and if you do not feel guilt, what's to prevent you from committing a murder? If you can get away with it, if you could commit a murder, let's say you wanted to, and you could get away with it, there is no one to judge you in a godless universe, and you can live with the guilt. What's to stop you doing it?
Well, I'd just like to say now, it is a godless universe. As an atheist, there is no God, and I'm a good person, not because I'm going to get rewarded for it in heaven, because that's the way I want to live my life in a society that treats people like that. So, a lot of the laws of the land, not just in the country, in many countries, are from the Bible. I mean, that kicked it off. I mean, there was laws before, obviously, and there were different gods before this one. Was invented, but let's have a look at the Ten Commandments. I think that lays down most of the, a lot of them are good rules of thumb, you know, we've got to go along with them. They certainly didn't invent those rules of thumb. I think that, mankind were adhering to most of them before it was handed down. So, let's have a look at them. There's a website here, a Baptist, Christian website forum, and this guy, maybe I shouldn't say his name. I mean, he's put it up there for public, but I don't want to embarrass him. He says, brethren and sistren.
What?
Yeah, so
never heard that before.
I've learned a word.
Yeah.
Brothers and sisters.
Could have said that, but he's not. He's just the classic.
He could have said people.
Could have said people, could have said folks, say folks.
It has come to my attention that not only are many of our members unable to correctly recite all the 10 Commandments, it's probably a big problem, I don't know, he goes around testing them going, number 3, get out. Go and learn it. But those who can remember, even a few, invariably get the sequence wrong.
Is that important?
Oh, well it is. He says, let me set the record straight. The commandments do not come in a random sequence, with the exception of 7th commandment, an obvious anomaly.
Why?
Well, he reckons that thou shalt not commit adultery at number 7 should really be 6th in terms of severity. Let me explain. The commandments appear in order of severity.
Right.
The harsher the punishment, the closer to the top. I hope this handy colour chart will make the intrinsic beauty of God's word more comprehensible to all. So this is it. He's laid it out. Commandment number 1: thou shalt have no other gods before me. Okay? Alert level: severe. Punishment: genocide.
Whoa.
Entire cities with men, women, children and animals must be killed. So that's a lovely, nice Christian view there. So if you worship another god before the right God, he doesn't name him by name, he just uses the term God.
Sure.
But there's only one according to this
Genocide.
yeah. Anyone who worships another god, genocide. Entire cities with men, women, children and animals must be killed. I don't know what the animals have ever done, but yeah, okay, so that's number 1. That's the most severe, worshipping the wrong god.
Sure.
Okay? Number 2, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image.
Okay, no graven images.
That's I assume, so druids, devil worshippers, anything like that, isn't it?
Well, I think it's also just, I suppose it's kind of images that mock or degrade the Almighty.
Okay. Severe.
What's the punishment there?
Genocide.
Genocide again. Wow.
That's his favourite there. Genocide. Entire cities with men, women, children, and animals must be killed.
What worries me is we're a couple of smart guys and we're not entirely sure what that commandment means.
No.
So we could go, but we could accidentally.
Yeah. 3. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain.
Okay.
Okay. I assume God made these, did he? He's used the first 3 talking about himself here. Alert level high. Capital punishment.
Capital punishment, so not genocide, thank God.
No, you're just going to be... Yeah, you're just going to be put to death there, not all your friends and family and dogs.
Sure.
Leave the budgie? No. Number 4. Remember the Sabbath day. Keep it holy. High.
So alert level high.
High, yeah. Capital punishment. Death.
Capital punishment again,
yeah,
if you forget the holy day.
Well, what makes me laugh is that sometimes you can be walking along and you go, alright, alright, I'm just going to I keep thinking it's Monday. You what? You forgot it's Sunday? No, I just forgot, death! Number 5. Honour thy father and thy mother. High.
Okay, so, and if you don't honour your mother...
Capital punishment.
Capital punishment
Lot of death. Lot of death
again,
at the moment.
So strict.
Yeah. We haven't even got to thou shalt not kill yet, and yet he's killed everyone so far.
Wow, jeez.
Now 7, he's put a number 6 here. He's put them out of order, 6 and 7, because he thinks this is higher. Thou shalt not commit adultery. High. Capital punishment.
Capital punishment again.
Now the fellow who did this website, he's put thou shalt not commit adultery above thou shalt not kill. God had it the other way around. God had thou shalt not kill, but this fella
here,
I reckon his wife played away.
Right.
So he went, right, I'm putting them in a different order. Because before, let's see, number 6, he's put thou shalt not kill, alert level, elevated, capital punishment in some cases. So if you murder someone, you can sometimes be killed. If you commit adultery, always death.
Get killed.
So I think he's made that he can have his wife put to death, right? Or he could kill her, but maybe get off with it.
Right.
That's why he's done that. Number 8, thou shalt not steal, guarded, excessive fines. Only in rare cases capital punishment.
Oh, just excessive fines?
Yeah, excessive. Number 9, thou shalt not bear false witness to thy neighbour. So basically lying low. Despisement and scorn.
Is that the punishment?
Yeah, for lying. Yeah, despisement and scorn.
Despisement and scorn.
Yeah. Thou shalt not covet, really. Don't try and get stuff, don't be jealous of stuff and try and
punishment?
Get it. Despisement and scorn.
Despisement and scorn, sure.
Wesley, yeah.
Now, at first, initially, he's annoyed.
But his voice, the voice is
Cruise.
still the same as his was, even though it's got Tom Cruise's mouth.
It's got a bit of both.
A little bit different.
Who's doing it? But okay, sorry, just practically, who is doing the voiceover then for the?
It's Tom now.
So
He's
Tom's
acting.
sort of doing an impression of this actor.
Brian's inside Tom.
His name is Brian, but when you look at it on the telly, when the camera whoozes round, and you see him sat in his bed, it's Tom Cruise.
Sure.
Right, okay.
His girlfriend's over the moon because she loves Tom Cruise.
Right.
He's gutted because he couldn't stand him. He can't stand the films. He's thinking,
Yeah, but he must be thinking, I look like Tom Cruise, one of the most loved actors of his generation.
No,
And he's
he'd
also a
think
good-looking
so,
bloke.
but he's not because he's in shock. Remember,
Right.
he was expecting to see himself, and when he looks in the mirror, he's
Yeah,
seeing
no, it must
someone
be
else.
shocking, yeah.
So
Also the voices.
he's going, I can't stand this, and she's going, calm down, you'll get used to it. I don't want to get used to it. And she's sort of saying, look, you're alive.
Right.
Stop moaning.
Yeah.
Brian. Stop moaning, Brian.
Um,
She's calling him Brian, I assume.
she says,
And Tom Cruise just had a sort of donor card that allowed his body to be given away, did it?
Yeah, it's the future.
Right.
This is 2013, Steve. Things have changed.
Clearly.
Right.
but
What's his girlfriend's name?
Claire,
Claire and Brian. Okay, great. Just a different body, just a slightly different look.
All right,
Just
so
like,
he's seen that he looks like Tom Cruise. He's shocked, but he's getting used to it.
he doesn't look like him. He is him.
Okay.
No,
right.
he's not him. He's Brian, isn't he?
Yeah, but to most people, it's
Yeah,
when
he
he
did.
leaves the hospital.
They go, all right, Tom. I thought you were
They're all
dead.
going, it's Tom, and he's going,
Really?
oh yeah, and he's going, oh, I knew this would happen, it's doing me head in.
Are they paparazzi? Do the paparazzi
No,
think it's Tom?
no. There's
Let
no
him
pap-
explain. Sorry, Rick, because you've heard this. I want to hear this story.
This is weird though, because it's so he looks like Tom Cruise.
So he wheels out, he's in a wheelchair.
Okay.
He's going, I'm sick of this. The other patients are going, Tom, I thought you were dead. And he's
Yeah,
going,
right.
yeah. And he's annoyed. He gets in the car. He gets out there
Right.
and he sees a poster up on the side of the road
Right.
for Mission Impossible 8.
It's hold on though. It's finished. I thought he died while they were filming
It's not
it.
finished. But now, these days, he's shouting about films before they're made.
Okay,
It's like Lord of the
Really?
Rings, isn't it? Yeah, they're going, Lord of the Rings is in the making. And they're going
Wow.
brilliant and all the hype
But
and
they put a
everything.
poster up even after.
Seems premature.
No, the poster
Yeah.
was already up.
That
They haven't
seems
put it up.
premature, given that a
What,
man
coming-
died during the production.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
I'd have taken the posters down,
No,
but
it's
then I
all-
don't work in Hollywood.
Right.
So the poster's up there, and he sees it as he's in a car driving past.
Yeah.
And he thinks, that can't be finished.
That makes sense, yeah.
They both look at each other. This is your chance. You wanted to be an actor. This is the chance.
Yeah.
Right.
Go back to the studio. So he goes in. Hello, you don't know me? And they go, oh, we think we do. And they go, no, you don't. I'm Brian. Tom
Right.
died on your film set.
Well, they must
Presume-
know that. They must know that
Tom Cruise
is
died.
dead. Because his family must have been
All right,
notified.
if you want, it makes no difference. We can tweak the script.
Right. You have, because before he was a plumber, by the way. It was a plumber who was turning up going, I'm going to finish Mission Impossible 8. So that was the
I'd much prefer that. And I can sort out your lavatory.
You get the idea.
Right, no, we don't get the idea. So this is, Brian has turned up looking like Tom Cruise. He said the film company, right, who must know that Tom Cruise died on their film set. What were they going to do when
They
they
would
got
have had to wrap it up. They would have
Well,
had
no,
to
what?
say,
You said that, but the posters are up.
yes, the posters are up before they've even finished
So they're
filming it.
cancelling the film until he walks in.
Basically, yeah.
Oh, so they are cancelling the film.
They're cancelling it.
Okay, so we're afraid that production has stopped on Mr. Impossible 8 due to the death of Tom Cruise.
Hang on a minute.
What?
I'm Brian.
Who's Brian? Oh my God, you look exactly like Tom Cruise. Oh, have they done that thing where they put Brian's brain in Tom Cruise's body?
Yeah.
Ah, but it's not Tom Cruise. You can't act like him.
I'm
You
an
don't-
actor.
Yeah, but he was good because he was like one of
Yeah.
the best actors.
He's not that good. I never rated him.
Yeah, but a lot of people did, and he's
Yeah,
got
a lot of
so-
people didn't. So
Right.
let me bring in a new audience for you here. I
But
can bring
can
a
you-
bit to this.
Right.
So the film people. So just tell me what happens. Do they sign up the new guy? They
but
sign
is
up
it in the
Brian?
news? It must be in the news that
But
Tom
are they
Cruise died.
pretending that it's really Tom
No,
and
they
that Tom
can't do
survived?
that. They can't do that.
No.
But they're quite
So
unscrupulous.
they've
these
told
Hollywood
the
people.
world that Brian is taking over. Brian, right? He used to be a plumber,
This
but
is
it's now
Brian, who has
Yeah.
no surname.
Brian
Fine,
has
right,
no
he's
son,
like
just
Madonna
Brian.
or Cher.
Exactly.
This-
yeah.
this-
So Brian, right? Is that Brian?
But
with
it's above the title.
I bet-
Brian
I bet,
in.
I bet it's Brian with a Y.
Brian with a Y
Right,
in
Brian.
Mission Impossible 8.
This won't work. Where's Tom Cruise? It's not the same.
So this, of course, gives it a boost because
Right.
The
people wanna
flagging
see- people
franchise
wanna
has
see how
been
good Brian is.
rejuvenated.
the
Yeah.
press, the news that's
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise and his new film.
Well, it's not Tom Cruise. They can't say that.
Well, it is though. When you look at it and you go, "Oh, it's Tom Cruise."
Well, no, you got to say a bloke that looks like Tom Cruise.
The body
in
of
his
Tom
new-
Cruise.
Yeah.
The acting ability of Brian. In a new movie.
Mission Impossible 8, starring the bones and skin and stuff of Tom Cruise with Brian's brain.
Oh, forget
Do
it.
you like Tom Cruise's face, but not his acting? And you'll enjoy Mission Impossible 8?
I'm not bothered.
Oh, Mission Impossible 8. From the people who brought you the first 7 and the hair of the bloke who was in the first 7, but with Brian doing all the lines. It's some guy I've never heard of on the 7th sequel.
No, wait, sorry, I really want to hear the ending of this movie. Please let me ask questions. You had your chance to ask him questions.
Right.
So where are we? In a sort of 90-minute running time of a movie, where are we now in the film? Are we about 2/3 of the way through?
We're close to the end. I'd
Okay,
say.
so
close to the
Mission
end.
Impossible 8 has been made. So what's the end of our movie? Not of Mission Impossible 8, but the movie you're making. What's the ending there?
Do we ever get to see him in Mission
I
Impossible
think,
8?
yeah, but I think what happens is he becomes the person who he never liked,
Right.
and it's I just want to get across the moral that who are we? Are we the people in our body or the people we look like? What's important in life? Is it the way you look or the way you think? And he changes because he looks like Tom Cruise. He becomes the man he never liked.
But you see, to me, just from the outsider's point of view, even if I was to accept all the other premise of this movie, which is clearly horseshit, what would have been more interesting is that they don't tell the world that it's a new guy, that they tell the world it's Tom and that they've brought him back to life.
He'll have that.
That seems more interesting because
he
then
dropped
there's
the plumber.
tension. They're lying to the world, and this guy, he's getting the glory that he always wanted as an actor, but he's lying, and that's a more interesting tension. Is he going to
Yeah.
declare, actually, I'm not really Tom, I'm Brian, I've been lying to you all, and that seems like a more interesting dilemma. Instead, we've brought back the walking corpse of Tom Cruise with another man's mind. I mean,
But I think
if the
people-
whole world's accepting of that,
Yeah.
No, but you
Yeah.
do want to see that. I think a lot of people would just want to see it for that morbid factor of my God.
yeah, but but this is. You mean they want to see your film because of this morbid factor?
Yeah, this is a fiction.
This is a fiction. This didn't really happen. You mean the final act of the film is us seeing Mission Impossible 8, starring the real Tom Cruise playing just his own cadaver, and I mean it's an Oscar-winning performance from Tom. I don't know how he's keeping in check who he is.
What's his girlfriend think of this?
Who's
Brian's.
she's loving it, isn't she? Because she always liked Tom Cruise. She's over
What
the
did
moon.
Brian look like? Just out of interest.
He's just sort of an older looking.
Well, who would play him? Who would play him in this film?
Probably. It's got to be American. I'm not that. What's his name? The bloke who was in Cheers, probably.
Ted
Ted
Danson.
Danson.
Ted Danson.
So Ted Danson is Brian. So Claire, right?
This is so confusing because Ted Danson's supposed to be someone that we've never heard of, even though he's Ted Danson, and Tom Cruise is playing himself, the famous actor Tom Cruise, who is now inhabited by Ted Danson, who's not Ted Danson.
Ted Danson. Ted Danson as Brian.
Ted Danson as Brian, as Tom Cruise, as Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible 8. Wow.
So have you got a title yet?
No, I just wanted to know if you're in.
Surely the wife of Brian.
The wife of Brian.
Who's played Claire?
I'm up for you. You know, that's why I've come to you. I thought
It's
you'd
an
know.
obvious suggestion.
Okay, so-
Rebecca
okay.
De Mornay.
Okay. Yeah.
She is so hot after The Love of a Brain, or whatever it was called.
You wanna go where everybody knows your name? It's Brian. Well, that's about it for this special free guide to in aid of Red Nose Day, Comic Relief.
If you have enjoyed this, or even if you haven't, please make a contribution, big or small, to Comic Relief. You can visit rednoseday.com to do that. We'd appreciate it. Little Richard Curtis would appreciate it. He's definitely going to get an OBE at some point,
Definitely
if not
now.
a knighthood.
Yeah, give him both. Carl, look at it this way. Supposing people come to this, they don't
They didn't like The Office, Extras, me, Steve, Idiot Abroad, The Ricky Gervais Show. They didn't like any of that. But they thought, hold on, they're doing something for charity. I'll check this out. They've had a whale of a time. They've laughed at everything. They're going to go and buy all the guides, still available on iTunes now.
That is shameless. Also, I'm doing a live stand-up comedy tour at the end of the year.
You can check out the details on rickygervais.com. Just do something for charity, or not. It's up to you. So it's goodbye from me, Ricky Gervais, and thank you. Goodbye from Stephen Merchant.
Goodbye.
And from the little round-headed buffoon that is Karl Pilkington, it's a goodbye.
Alright.
I remember when I went off to university, my brother-in-law dropped me off. My mum came up with me, and she was leaving, and she was sort of crying, and I was making up. I was pretending to be really sort of sad and winding about that. And then I thought, oh, I better call her up. She said, call me, right? So I think I waited till the following Sunday. It'd been about a week, right? And I called her up, and I couldn't just call her up. I suppose I had to be ironic because I was probably embarrassed about calling my mum. Like I wanted to speak to her too. So I just called her up, and she went, "Hello." I went, "Mum." She went, "Yeah." I went, "It's Ricky." She went, "What's the matter?" I said, "I think I'm blind." She went, "What?" I went, "No, how's it going?" She went, "You silly bleeder, I nearly had a heart attack."
That's great.
So if you want to spice up calls to your mum, pretend you've had a terrible accident and that you're blind.
I like it when I phone my gran, and the only other people that ever phone my gran is me, my sister, or my parents. No one else ever calls. And every time she picks up, she goes, "Hello?" Like, it could be a monster that's going to come through the phone line. But also, it's like she's now, like, each time she hears it ring, it surprises her. Like, there's a noise in the house, and she wanders around and she finds an object that's ringing. And she doesn't know what it is, and she sort of hits buttons until, "Hello?"
Well, she's tried 3 already.
But what annoys me is I'll say, "Hello, Gran," and she'll go, "Who's that?" "Oh, come on." You must recognise me by now. I'm the only person who calls, except about 3 other people.
I'm not the girl.
Yeah, exactly. And my granddad, she's had this for years. It's not just that she gets up. She'll go through all of the family's name until she gets to
Oh, my
me.
lot used to do that. My lot used to do
So
that.
she knows
yeah.
it's me, but she'll go, "Hello, Ron, Elaine, Alex, Steve."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
But it's the same with each member of the whichever one of us she's talking
Always
to.
last.
It's the always last.
Yeah. Oh dear. So you've spoken to your mum and dad. You've changed the tiles. You've had lunch. The telly's not on.
Suzanne comes in. You've made her dinner.
No.
Right.
What happens there? Now, what happens there?
What time does she get in?
You've done all this by about 4 or 5, have you?
Well, I'm tidying up. I normally keep my eye on the clock. Like
the
to give
road.
myself like 40 odd minutes to clean up.
Right.
Kitchen's all clean, ready for us to make the tea.
Ready for her to make the tea, even though I know you've been tiling, but that was a job you gave yourself. You didn't have to do it.
No, but I don't do cooking. She knows that. This isn't even a discussion.
Right.
She knows. Like today, I've got to get some thin chips, so I'll do that.
You mean fries?
Yeah.
Okay. What, it's frozen in the bag or whatever?
Yeah. I've got to get some of them.
And what are you having? What are you having tonight?
Scampi.
So that's shop bought scampi. Just what do you do? Just
Don't know. She
Just
just
deep
brings
fry
it. I don't know. I think it's just chuck it in the oven.
yeah, yeah.
So she'll do all that. I'll eat it.
And sorry, let me just rewind for a second.
I'll eat it. He's listing it in his day's work. I'll eat it. I say, "I've eaten that." She goes, "Thank you." I go, "Oven."
Do you ask her her day's been? I'm just interested when she comes in. You
Definitely
know,
not.
she's had a busy
Definitely
day.
not.
She's listen. Don't jump to conclusions, Rick. All right. Okay, so she comes in.
Okay, let's act it out.
Yeah.
Okay, you've just cleaned up, right? The last bit there. You look back. Them tiles look good. You look at the clock. Oh, what time is it? She usually comes through the door.
Don't know. It can change. She calls and warns me.
Right. Let's
So-
go through. Take me through. Okay. The end of the day.
Right. Vacuuming up, cleaning up all the mess. Phone's going. Who's that? Suzanne. All right. Yeah. Coming home. All right then. See you in a bit. She'll go. I'll put the kettle on, or at least fill it ready, because she normally calls again.
What do you mean?
And,
She calls again. What?
She calls again when she's out the tube.
Let's do it. Let's hear it. What's going on?
All right. Yeah, out the tube. Yeah, do you want a cup of tea? Yeah. Right, see you in a minute. Flick the kettle on. Get the tea bags out. Make a cup of tea.
Milk?
Bit of milk.
Literally-
Sometimes I'll say, get us a little treat when you come out the tube.
Yeah.
So she'll get me, a bounty or something to go with a cup of tea.
Right.
She'll
It's
come in.
before your tea, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's going to be another 40-odd minutes.
So you have a bounty before you have a meal?
Not every day, just sometimes. If I've got a sugar low, I've got a touch of diabetes.
No, you haven't.
I have. I feel like a bit shaky.
Oh, so
sometimes.
you just made that up. So you have got no evidence whether you got diabetes
Well, I haven't got
or not.
evidence of it, but I think I
No,
have.
so there's no evidence, but let's believe in it anyway.
Right, well, I have a bounty. That normally sorts it out. To me, that's a sign of diabetes. Otherwise, what's wrong with me? So,
You're just a greedy fucker.
no, I'm telling you, I sometimes need it. I get a proper urge for a Mars bar. I go, I've got to have
What
one
do you have
now.
a bounty for then?
No, just to mix it up because I get sick of Mars bars.
Do you? Well, when you say get me a bounty, have you got an urge for a bounty then or a Mars bar?
Well, it's just that they're both quite equal in sugar content.
Yeah, but
Bounties, there's a lot of that.
do you
coconut.
specify then when you say get me a treat? She says, well, what? Sometimes you have a Mars bar, sometimes you have a bounty.
No, that's enough for me. When she comes in, it's a talking topic, innit? What have you got me?
Topic. Sometimes gets you a topic.
It's something to chat about, isn't it?
Right. Okay.
Got your bounty.
Something to chat about.
So, has there ever been a time? Sorry, I just got to get this straight, Steve.
Sorry, Rick, I just wanted to say, could you imagine you and I having a conversation about what chocolate bar you ever brought me? What'd you get me, Rick?
Got your bounty. Is that all right?
Thanks, mate. That's as long as that conversation can possibly
Yeah,
go.
that
You're
is
talking
it.
about it as a talking point.
Yeah, so what happens? So what's the last time there was a discussion about what she bought you? Did she ever bring you a bounty and you go, I was really hoping for a Mars bar?
I think the last time she got a bounty, I sort of said, they do a 3-pack now. Do you know how they just have 2 bars? They do a 3 one.
Right, what did she say?
She said, did he? Did he?
So I want out of this relationship.
No, but that's how a chat starts. And they'll go, yeah, that's why there's fatter people now. Everything's in bigger amounts, innit? It used to just be 1, like a Milky Way. Now you can get a 3-pack. And then they're saying, there's fat people. Because that's the thing. She's sort of been talking to people all day. I've been tiling, listening to the radio, hearing reports of obesity. So this is a chance for me to tell her what I've learned, in a way.
Right.
So I'll empty what
I bet
I've
she
learned.
loves coming through that door.
When she comes through, take her coat off, I'll go, she'll go, what, are we having scampi still, or have you gone off the idea? And then I'll go, we should get them tablets my mum's been talking about. She goes, what tablets? I go, the food. So see how it's all coming together?
Yeah.
So it's like that, and that's
What does she say to the idea of now living on tablets instead of having some scampi and chips when she comes home after a hard day's work? What does she
She
say
just
to
sort of
that?
goes, right.
She says, oh, right.
Yeah.
So this important information which you're imparting that you've garnered during the day, her response to that is, oh, right.
Yeah.
So-
and then I'll get her attention at some point. I'll say there's worms with teeth.
I'll get her attention at some point. I'll say, I'm going to bring out the good big guns now.
Imagine-
Right, she's ignoring me. Okay, wait for this. Suzanne, I see you're ignoring me. Yeah. Worms with teeth. Oh, God. Amazing. So what does she say to worms have teeth?
I can't remember. She just sort of said, have you got the facts right? I said, yeah. That's kind of it. And she'll either go, all right, or she'll... I mean, it's pretty rare that it's anything more than that.
So it's not a conversation, really. It's,
No.
Because the response twice now has been, oh, right.
Right, so she's looking forward to some scampi and chips. She hands over your bounty. You go, they do 3. Yeah, whatever. Right? What happens next? Take us through.
I'll sort of say, anything to report? Anything gone on today? Mm-hmm. And she knows it's. I sort of phase off again. It's like a phone call. She'll go, so and so's leaving or whatever, and I don't know these people, and I'm not that interested.
And she senses that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So she'll go, have you paid the insurance? I go, no, I forgot. She'll go, I told you to do that. I said, yeah, but I've been doing the tiling. She's going, yeah, but you weren't meant to do the tiling. I asked you to sort the insurance out on the washer because the washer keeps breaking. And she won't let me fix it, even though I know what it was. It was the heating element. I said, I know how to fix that. But she was going, no, I don't want you messing with it because if you flood the kitchen out, it's makes a mess. So anyway, so I've got to sort that out. I still haven't done it. I should have done that today. Then have a game of crib.
Oh God! Oh
It's like being in an old people's home.
I know, but I'll tell you what. put the telly on, because there's some flump on there that might give you an insight.
No.
No?
No, not until... like I've said to you before, unless she knows what she's putting it on for, it doesn't go on.
Right.
None of this flicking
So
it
when
on.
she says, let's put the telly on, you go, okay, Suzanne, what are we going to watch?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, what...
And
what
she goes, well, I don't know, should we have a look what's on?
I say, look what's on first.
But have you got a Radio Times or a TV?
Yeah, I've got a magazine that comes with a paper at the weekend.
Okay.
Look through that. If there's anything on you fancy, we'll look at it. If not, we don't need it on. Put the radio on.
Right.
And then she has a look and she'll go, The Apprentice is on. I'll go, okay, you can have it on.
Right.
If she goes, oh, there's... I can't remember a time when I've said, no, you're not having that on.
You're quite patriarchal, aren't you, wouldn't you say?
What do you mean?
Was that the man of the house rules the roost?
Yeah, you pretty
Not
much lay the
really.
rules down, don't you?
No, because she still does what she wants. Even though I'm saying you're clumping about again, making a racket, she does it more. But it works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sounds like it. And so you've had a lovely game of crib with Suzanne, because, you know, the magic's still there. And what time do you hit the sack?
Don't know, about 11.
Do you go to bed at the same time?
Yeah. So that's it, yeah, that's
So,
the day, really.
well, hang on, we haven't finished yet. So, any conversation before bed?
Depends if the radio's on. I might say, look, here's that story about the worm.
Yeah.
And then she'll go, yeah, but look, it hasn't got teeth. It said this, that and the other. And I'll go, oh, yeah, forgot.
Good night.
That's the end of that, really.
Another day closer to death.
Well, that was a free podcast. I suppose we'd call that a day in the life of Karl Pilkington. That's a little thank you to all the fans who bought the audiobooks.
It's not much of a gift, is it?
Wow, it's something, isn't it? I mean, I know Karl did it begrudgingly, but thank you for downloading the audiobooks all these years. Karl's very grateful, really. It means he can go and buy as much grouting as he'll ever need. And thank you to people who've bought the book, An Idiot Abroad, and watched the programme. If you still can't get enough Karl, the DVD An Idiot Abroad is out. That's a lovely Christmas gift for all the family. Order that now at amazon.co.uk or Com or
Yeah,
HMV
or your retailer
or Play.
of choice. Your retailer,
Any retailer of choice. Or go out and buy it. Go out for
get
a
off your
walk.
arse and buy it.
Go out for a walk and buy An Idiot Abroad on DVD and the book. And what a lovely Christmas gift the Ricky Gervais show would make as well on DVD.
Animated ramblings from the round-headed moron.
Some people don't even realise that The Idiot Abroad is Karl Pilkington from the Ricky Gervais show. If you're on Twitter and Facebook and MySpace, or if you've got just friends you actually talk to via the mouth, then tell them if they enjoyed An Idiot Abroad to get the Ricky Gervais show on audiobook or DVD. And while you're at it, buy my new stand-up on DVD, Science.
I don't know, Rick. That seems a shameless plug.
Yeah. Well, what was all the other shit then?
Yeah, that was just talking to the fans.
That's
Whereas,
because you get a third of all the other stuff.
all right, let's not reduce it to money.
Karl's on it.
On what?
On the Science DVD. I've done a special programme where I interview him for Science, which is amazing. But my favourite bit is probably when he meets Warwick Davis. I stitched him right up. He thought he was going to have a talk about science. We hid Warwick, right?
Well, that's not hard, is it?
We had to keep him in a different room, and then Karl sat down, thought he was talking about science, and I went, got a little fella, and Warwick walks out, and your little face, and Warwick confronted him over some of the words he's used. Midget.
Yes, I remember the famous midget hippopotamus story.
Yeah.
I'm sure you used the word midget there far too many times.
Yeah. So there's a few things to buy at Christmas. Go out and buy one of our DVDs or books. This was free. Now pay for something.